Hey everybody, it's me, Felicia, and I'm not going to be before you very long, but what I wanted to talk about today was the fact that they now have CRISPR is now possible in, of all things, cockroaches. And I found that absolutely amazing. Before we get started, I want to pull up the actual story so that you guys can follow along with me should you choose to. But I do think that it's amazing, and it says a lot about where we're going with technology, a lot about where we're going with quote unquote science. Cockroaches, of all things, is what they are looking at. So this is amazing to me. Hey, Derek C. Williams, I know you probably have heard of this, but listen, we've all heard of CRISPR. We've all heard of, gene editing. They've done it with pigs. They've done it with sheep. They've done it with a lot of things. But now we are literally looking at hey, William, how are you? And Rambo Romeo, it's good to see you guys. Vine Dressers Branch 2, good afternoon to you as well. But listen, here it is. This is the story right here. And it was sent to me by one of our channel members on the Lockhart Perspective. So she sent this to me, and this morning I was absolutely floored. I was like, gee whiz, what else will we do next? Hey, Maureen, you know what I mean? What else will we do next? All right, so let's get into the story, you guys. Researchers have developed a CRISPR-Cas9 approach to enable gene editing in cockroaches, according to a study published by Cell Press on May 16th in the journal Cell Reports Methods. Now, the simple and efficient technique named direct parental CRISPR involves injection of materials into the adults where eggs are developing rather than into the embryos themselves. It says here, this is a quote from Ronnie.d.Mann of Kyoto University, and this is the senior study author. This individual says, in a sense, he says, insect researchers have been freed from the annoyance of egg injections. We can now edit insects' genomes more freely and at will. In principle, this method should work for more than 90% of the insect species. Current approaches for insect gene editing typically require microinjection of materials into earlier embryos, severely limiting its application to many species. For example, the past studies have not achieved genetic manipulation of cockroaches due to their unique reproductive systems. Reproductive system. In addition, insect gene editing often requires expensive equipment, a specific experimental setup for each species, and highly skilled laboratory personnel. Damon continues with these problems with conventional methods have plagued researchers who wish to perform genome editing on a wide variety of insect species. Now, to overcome these limitations, Damon and his collaborators injected Cas9 ribonucleic proteins, RNPs. And for those of you who are in the science world and you do studies and things like that, please count the mispronunciation to my head and not my heart, okay? It goes on to say that they injected into the main body cavity of adult female cockroaches to introduce heritable mutations in developing egg cells. The results demonstrated at the gene editing efficiency, the proportion of edited individuals out of the total number of individuals hatched could reach as high as 22%. In the red flower beetle, this particular method achieved an efficiency of more than 50%. Moreover, the researchers generated gene-knocking beetles by co-injecting single-stranded, looks like oligonucleotides and Cas9 RNPs. But the efficiency is low and should further be improved. Now, let me tell you what this reminds me of. Imagine all of these scientists doing this particular gene editing and taking these things and sticking things in them and changing them and altering them. It reminds me of when people say they were abducted by aliens. Don't you know that? It sounds like when people have been abducted. What's the one thing that they say? James Richter, hi. Sandy Aaron, hello. What is the one thing, Joy, that they say? They say, oh, it felt like somebody was taking me and I could see things, men or things down and pulling and tugging. And, oh, they mess with my reproductive system or they mess with this part of me. That's exactly what this sounds like. So really, when it comes to making all the edits of these animals and making the edits now in the insect world and all this other stuff and with the technology they say they've had, where, oh, where did any of the mindset come from? We must ask. Did you as a child feel like, maybe I can change the genetic makeup of this cockroach, or maybe I could take this beetle and change its genetic makeup? How about a butterfly? None of us ever thought of these things. So where did these things come up from? Where did they come up? Where did we get this, Jeff? Where did we get this? So it's like all of the editing and all of the things that they're doing right now reminds me of that. It just reminds me of that. And not to mention the fact that most recently what we've seen with some of the editing are mosquitoes in abundance being changed, being edited, carrying things with them that would harm or test out different things. They've even used mosquitoes in places like Florida and places like California when they've taken a large body of them and flown them out. So this is what that reminds me of. You guys do me a big favor. Hey, Daryl Calhoun, as you guys all come in, tab P, it's amazing. You guys are adding to the number here, and I so appreciate it. But the counter on this side is so weird because it drops as people come in, but who cares? Annie, would you do me a big favor? Everybody that's coming in, hit the like button for me so that we can continue to do this, and it lets people know that we're here. Now, it goes on to say that the successful application is revolutionary. Distant species demonstrates its potential for broad use, but the approach is not directly applicable to all insect species, including fruit flies. In addition, the experiments show that the most critical parameter for success in the stage of adult females injected. Now, as a result, the direct parent CRISPR requires good knowledge of ovary development. Now I'm back on the other side, but while I was over there where you guys were, I think it was Sandy Aaron or somebody that mentioned the missing ovaries. Okay, so this can be challenging in some species given the diverse life histories and reproductive strategies in insects. Despite these limitations, DIPA-CRISPR is accessible, highly practical, and could be readily implemented in laboratories, extended the application of gene editing to a wide diversity of model and non-model insect species. The technique requires minimal equipment for adult injection and only two components, Cas9 protein and single guide RNA, greatly simplified the procedures for gene editing. Moreover, commercially available. Standard Cas9 can be used for an adult injection, eliminating the need for time-consuming custom engineering of the protein. Wow. Now, it goes on to say here in a quote from D.Mann, by improving the DIPA-CRISPR method and making it even more efficient and versatile, we may be able to enable genome editing in almost all of the more than 1.5 million species of insects, opening up a future in which we can fully utilize the amazing biological function of insects. In principle, it may also be possible that other arthropods could be genome edited using a similar approach. These include agricultural and medical pests such as mites and ticks, and important fishery resources such as shrimp and crabs. Child, I sound country. Shrimps. Give me some shrimps. But such as shrimp and crabs. Now, get this. I think they just told us. Huh? I think they just told us what Joy Trujillo, what the plan is. To edit enough of them to create another form of food. And they do, Sandy Aaron. Okay, so this is really not by accident, and it's really important that we look and see this, because the next time you see something with a unique name for it, and it's something to eat, you'll be sitting there like, well, gee whiz, this tastes a little like chicken, which is just a joke I'm making, but it's really honest. It's actually honestly scary when you consider the level that man is going to be God. To be God. These are the things that man is doing to become like the Most High, the one and true Creator. Okay, imagine back in the garden when everything that was done, Adam was told, give it a name. Oh, okay, that's a this or that's a that. But that's exactly what's going on. So I just wanted to bring this to you and to let you see exactly what was going on. Now, if you remember, we did do a story dealing with the CRISPR-Cas9 with the pig. And if you remember, we also covered the story dealing with the man who had received the heart of the pig. And what they said to him was, well, because you were not a good candidate when we considered you once before, where you were on the list to receive a human heart, we're going to give you this heart. And at first, if you guys remember, the gentleman did not want, subsequently, this poor fella has passed on. But what ended up happening was they sort of cornered him into, well, if you want to live, you'll take the pig heart. And if you don't want to take the pig heart, well, we're not putting you on the list to receive this other heart. Do you guys remember that? And so what they're doing is they're using human beings now on the level of, and I can't say peer to peer, because in the scientific world, their peers would be another peer that does the same thing. But I guess what I'm trying to say is human to human. You've got one human here that needs a heart, and now here, we're going to give you a pig heart because before you didn't lose the weight, before you didn't use the medication that we had for you to use, before you were still drinking. And so now, if you want to get this transplant and we need to do the research, we're going to go ahead and give you this pig heart, or you can just stay at home and your family can make you as comfortable as they'd like. Do you see where we are headed? Most assuredly, Maureen Olson, guinea pigs. This is where we are headed. I submit perhaps we should never have gone into this vein, but then again, that's my personal opinion. I just feel like by going into this vein altogether, all right, there are some issues that we have opened. Now, did anyone see just recently the list for taking in, if you want to go and give your blood to help out a human, okay? If you want to give blood, have you guys seen what the statements are from the actual website for, I guess is it Red Cross? Let me give you that. I will give you the particulars for what do they require for taking blood, all right? So I want you to look at something. I'm going to let you mostly read it. And you guys tell me what you think about this in the replay down below in the comment area. And you can also leave a comment here. All right, so let's look up Red Cross. Okay, and we're going to look up blood criteria to give blood donation. All right, want to see what they require. All right, let's check this out. There you go, requirements and restrictions. Let's look at the restrictions. redcross.org. Here we go. All right, I'm going to let you guys see this because I know you can't over there. So let me come on this side because I know you guys can still see the other. All right. And I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me this afternoon. Thank you so very much. Not going to be before you long. I know a lot of folks are possibly at work and taking a break, or, maybe you're at home or whatnot. So let's just put in any old zip code. Okay, here, 9. Let's see, 9. And let's see what we can come up. All right, so we're going to put any place. All right, so let's just see. Do I have to do that? I guess so. Yeah, I guess you got to put it in there. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to do the other thing. Donating blood. Okay, donate blood and then manage how to donate blood. Blood drives eligibility and requirements. Okay, whole blood donations. Common reasons you can't donate. All right, let's see. Flu and other illnesses, information about medication. Let's just see what they say about medications. Let's put in vaccinations, because I know that if you've had certain vaccinations, you're not able to give it, because they're probably waiting for the body to get well. And I hope you guys understand what I'm really saying. Okay. All right. So let's see. Immunize, vaccinations. Let's see here. All right. Are you guys still able to see this? I hope so. All right, there you go. All right. Aha. Let me make it real big for you. And if you guys can see it, I want you to just tell me in the chat that you can see it. First of all, let's not trick anybody. Let's let you see where we are. Okay. And I will put this right now down below in the description. Actually, I'll have to wait to edit this and put it in there. But here it is, medications and vaccinations. You have aspirin, antibiotics, birth control. You have this topic right here. And then there's insulin and medication. So obviously they don't want, people to do it with insulin because, apparently there'd be some things that's going on. But here's what you need to know. If you are in your local area, please read between the lines. If in your local area you would like to give blood, there are a few things that you should know before you go. The immunization vaccination is here, and it is acceptable if you were vaccinated for influenza, pneumonia, tetanus, meningitis, providing you are symptom-free and fever-free. So you can still be a good citizen and go and donate blood if that's the case. It is acceptable if you've received the HPV vaccine, example, Gardasil. It is also okay if you were vaccinated with Shingrix, which is a shingles vaccine, providing that you are symptom-free and fever-free. So if you'd also like to give at your local red blood, your local Red Cross, you can also give blood 4 weeks after an immunization for German measles, MMR, mumps and rubella, chickenpox, okay, Zotavax live shingles vaccine. So you're still in good luck. All right. You have to wait 2 weeks after your immunization for red measles. We're getting there. Just be patient. You know what we got to do. And yellow fever vaccine. You must wait 21 days after your immunization if you want to give blood at your local Red Cross for hepatitis B, as long as you're not given the immunization for exposure to Hep B. And we know why, because hepatitis is something that you don't want to give blood for if you've got it. So we definitely want to do that now. Now, they are, if it's this, they are definitely acceptable if you were vaccinated with a non-replicating, inactivated, or RNA-based that was manufactured by AstraZeneca, Janssen, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Novavax, or Pfizer, providing you are symptom-free and fever-free. Did you see this? If you were done with one that's like this. If you were, that is non-replicating, then you can do it. 2 weeks after you were vaccinated from the attenuated, this word, and 2 weeks if you were vaccinated with this, inactivated. Wait 2 weeks if you were done with this. Can you see that? You got to wait 2 weeks. And if you want to be a good steward, you've got to do it like this. You got to wait 2 weeks. When man attempts to be the Most High, the creator of all, we wrap ourselves into a really big mess. And that's exactly what I'm thinking about when I read stories like the one that we let in with the CRISPR-Cas9. I believe that by doing all of these things, we really don't know where any of this will go. Did you guys see that? I hope so. Okay, I hope so, because sometimes I'll flip these numbers over and flip these things over and you can't see it. All right. So sometimes you cannot give it if those particular things are applicable to you. And the part that gets me is the fact that we're doing this with all of the animals, all of the insects, all of the everything. But it's when man has a quest to be more than they really are. But here's the question, and I just want to ask a question. It doesn't mean that this is what I believe in. It's just a question, playing devil's advocate, as it were. Who, if we can liken this or juxtapose this particular situation, clearly liken it to the alien stories that we've heard all over the place, with them tinkering and saying that they could see some light while they laid there, and this was tinkering with this or that, or they came out and they had a tag on them and they didn't know where the skin tag came from, or they had an issue. Where, oh where, and who are the people that are actually doing this now? Think about that. Think about it. Who's actually doing this now? I think there's a lot of pieces, and again, that we're just asking, okay? I think there are a lot of pieces that we see every single day, and there's a piece of our mind or our brain that really does work, but we don't tap into what it is that we're really seeing, because sometimes we may shake it off. You know what I mean, Zeb? Sometimes we might shake it off. All right? Ms. Yazway forever. Hello. Sometimes we shake it off. Ellen Mother and Phil Brad. KDS, hello. Sometimes we shake off what we think and what we see. You know what I mean, John McLaughlin? I'm saying hello to all of you all while I see you here, and I want to tell you how much I appreciate you. But sometimes we shake it off. We'll see something and we'll know something is not right, and yet we sort of rationalize it in our mind. We sort of try to balance it or play the balancing act to say, oh, well, it's right. I was just tripping. No, you're not tripping. What you see, you saw. There is nothing new. Martha Blessed and Sanctified, good to see you. I thought about you the other day. Martha Blessed and Sanctified says, there's nothing new under the sun. What is going on now has happened before in the days of Noah. Very good. Very good. Zeb Johnson says, yep. We get soon much thrown. I think that's what you're trying to say. We get so much thrown at us. It is so true. And so when you see these things and you wonder these questions in your mind, what would create a person to believe that it's okay to or even want to edit a cockroach? And what we just got to looking at was editing. That's right, Rachel Van Ziel. That's right, Rachel. Thank you. Lady J, how are you? And Rob Banks, how are you? So the deal is that you see what we think is mankind attempting to edit all of this stuff so that we can eat these things. We can live off these things. If you go in ahead and you look at what we just looked at with the CRISPR story that our subscriber sent to us, hello, Black Spring, then what you'll find out is that they likened it to protein. They said protein. And that right there, to me, when I see that word just sitting out there like that, you see that? Engineering of protein. Time-consuming engineering of protein. That right there tells you something. That somebody is considering this as a good form of protein. Now, we all know that it is a protein. Yes, we do. We all know that ants are protein. We all know about all of that. But with this right here, there is no reason for anybody to want to go and do that much editing and digging around with animals and bugs if you were not going to consider it for something later on. Now, I could be tripping. But I truly would not put anything past anybody that has the mind to say, hey, gee, we just did it with a pig. Well, that's the meat part. Let's see if we can do it with some bugs. And then we could put them in chocolate. We could put it in all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we could do it. We could do that. You don't think we could do that? Yeah, we could do that, man. We can do it. We can take them, we can put it in the bugs, we can change and alter the roaches. And you know what I'm saying? We could make a whole entire apartment complex completely over inundated with roaches just to see what it would take to get rid of them. Because you already know, man. You already know. They said that those roaches are the only thing that can outlive a nuclear fallout. Hot dog, I think we're on to something. Why? Because that's how the brain of a human works. Huh? Zeb Johnson? You're a hot mess. Hey, Dawn S., how are you? You guys hit that like button for us here. Okay? Yeah, then they put it at us. There you go. We got to think outside of the box because we don't understand why anybody would ever want to go and do all of that. We don't understand why anybody would even decide to mess with some bugs like that. Let them eat grass. Let them eat grasshoppers. You know, Robert, Walter Grew, they want to replace us with roaches. Now they want to feed them to us. And they probably do, Walter. Walter says they want to replace us with, you know what? But you know what, Walter? They might want to do that, but they might want us to eat them. Because if you take away the unhealthy portion of what we consider as being filthy roaches, well, you never know what these things are, what these entities. And that's why I have to say these have to be entities. These can't be real folks. They just can't be. time-consuming engineering of the protein. Moreover, commercially available standard Cas9 can be used for adult injection, eliminating the need for time-consuming custom engineering of the protein. Of the protein. Is this not a mess? This is a mess, but this is where we are. Now, later on today, over on TLP Headlines with a Voice, I'm going to get ready to get off here, but we're going to be talking about Black Lives Matter and all that money. And I want to make a couple of statements and phrases and tell you guys what I really think, and that's where I'm going to do it tonight at 7 o'clock. Hey, Christ Soldier, how are you, precious one? How are you? Blessings to you and your family. Okay? All right, we're going to be talking about the money issue. Right now that their tax return has been opened and is unsealed and we see exactly where the money went, we are looking at how much money they received. We are looking at where the money went, and we are looking at what they paid each individual and how much of their people that work for them, how many family members were there. We're looking at all of that. I would have brought it here. As a matter of fact, I attempted to put it here, but I didn't know how it would be received. And so I put it on a tinier channel. But I would love for all of you to be a part of it, because it's going to ask a few questions. There, and this again is just an information for you guys. They took in a large amount of money, and they have net right now somewhere around $43 million. So here's my question. Where's the money? And when have black folk ever been able to mobilize that kind of money? I'm asking the question, and it's just a question. I don't mean to offend anybody, but I will be going in. Yeah, I will be going in. So it may offend some folks, and I understand that if it does. But I'm telling you right now, I want to understand how this organization that was supposed to be a quote unquote grassroots organization collected so much money. Who did it? How did they get it? Where did it come from? Do we all look alike? Do we all agree? No, we don't agree. But we do know that there is something that's going on with that organization, to include where they came from. I'm going to be looking at the shapes of faces and where a lot of shapes of faces come from. Something tells me that there's a lot of people who were transplanted here from other countries during the 80s that are now here, that have been reared to be and to do exactly what they're doing. So what we're reading from today is revealed Black Lives Matter founder Patrisse Cullors paid her quote unquote baby daddy, baby's father, $970,000 for creative services, and her brother $840,000 per annum for security, and a fellow director $2.1 million, and reimbursed the organization $73,000 for a charter flight that was a little questionable. All right. So we're going to look at that tonight at 7 o'clock on TLP Headlines with a Voice, and we are going to ask the questions. Oh, you are absolutely right, Zeb Johnson. And here's my question about that, Zeb. Anthony, how are you? Yes, per year. What I need to know from you guys while you all are here, it shows on my side 75 people. What I want to know is what you guys would welcome over here. I don't want to just push those types of conversations and topics on you without knowing if you are okay with it. So if you're in the replay and you're looking at this, please write down if they're, type it in there and let us know that that's something that you want to talk about. Okay? And if it's here that you want to talk about it, because we're going to definitely talk about this guy right here, Rambo Romeo. You see that? We're talking about that. And here's what I want to say about that guy right there. We should not complain about anything if we have not gone after the agitators that we know are in our country causing troubles. We do not need to complain about the people that they put in those positions, but rather we need to make our conversations finite, and we need to direct them and to point them directly to pulling out those individuals who are causing a ruckus here in our country. It does us no good to know their name, but not call it out and say, hey, hello, Senator, Congressman, whoever you are, please get them out of here. Because this that Rambo has here is exactly who's running the party. And I don't mean the party as in, left or right. I mean, who is at the party? That's the DJ. Who's running the party? The DJ runs the party, right? Well, who's the DJ here? Who is the DJ? All right. I believe that when we look at the amount of money that was taken in by BLM, that it is questionable. Moreover, I believe that it is not only questionable, but that if it were you or if it were me, and I don't care what color you are, it doesn't matter. If you were me or it was you, there would be a big problem. Now, there are some people in the chat that are talking about the Candace Owens issue. Now, apparently, she was outside of the woman's house with a news crew in the seat of a journalist, basically, and she was, running a news crew there, and she had some things that she was, reporting, obviously, and the gal ran and got on social media and started crying, blocked off all of her comments and started crying, saying, "Hey, they're outside, they're trying to get me, there's some white supremacists trying to get me. I'm so tired of hearing black folk run with that white supremacist stuff, I don't know what to do." But because I do not know if this is the right house to bring this to, I generally don't. I usually do these kinds of rants on another channel. However, if you guys tell me that you don't mind and you guys would like to have this conversation, then we can do it. We can do it, but I need to have your permission. So you guys go ahead and let me know how you feel about that. And I will, before I go on live at 7 o'clock on TLP Headlines with a Voice, I will then edit it and bring it here, or just decide to bring it here all along. You know what I mean? And we don't have to do it over there. We can just talk. Yeah. Martha, Blessed and Sanctified, said that we're all family when you get down to it. It's the enemy who wants us to be at odds. Absolutely. Because if we band together, it would be over. Absolutely. And that's the reason. You want to do it here? Okay. All right. We're going to do it over here. We're going to do it over here. All right, Rob? All right. We're going to do it because these are the questions that need to be asked. People are talking about this stuff, you guys. All right? Do it. Just do it. Thank you so much. Okay? We need to talk about these things. Where do you come up with that kind of money? Where? We already know the answer. So tonight, 7 o'clock, we'll be back here and we are going to talk about it here on this channel. David Bruce, hello. It's so good to see you. It really is good to see you. Okay? All right, Walter Gura, we're going to do it here. Rob and James will be here, Anthony. We'll be doing it here because we need to have this conversation. We do. We do. All right? All right, your average girl. How you doing, average girl? All right, folks. Netta T, what's going on, Netta? All right. Okay. And hopefully we'll have everything set up for those of you who want to become members. You can actually become a member tonight if we have all of the tabs and everything finished. So if you want to become a member on this channel, you can definitely do it. All right. All right, folks. I appreciate all of y'all. Yes, the top 5 funders, Joy Trujillo. I appreciate everybody that's here. And what I want you guys to do is remember what we always say on this channel or any Felicia Lockhart publication, and that is, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys take care of yourselves, tab P. You guys take care of yourselves and take care of one another, and we will be here this evening, 7 o'clock, to talk about BLM and where that money came from, okay? All right, you guys take care of yourselves, and please remember to take care of one another. Till we see each other again, please continue to be blessed. Lockhart Perspective.